Assalamualaikum and a very good day everyone. So today my group 6 will be presenting on our language learning module. So let me introduce everyone to my group members. They are AISHWARRIYA, Ayu HANIEZYEA, myself Nur Syahada, Priyanka and also THIVYAH. Alright, so these are the contents of our presentation for today. Firstly, we have introduction, and then activity 1, days of the week adventure spin, activity 2, daily routine grammar buzz, activity 3, superhero among us, and last but not least, conclusion. Okay, we will start off the presentation with the introduction part. So I will be presenting on this. The points are in the next slide. Alright, I will kick off the presentation by introducing our language learning module designed for Year 2 ESL pupils. This module uses different learning strategies to help pupils improve their English in a fun and effective way. So learning a new language can be very difficult, especially for young learners who do not hear much English outside of their own school. Therefore, we use strategies that help pupils think about their learning, stay motivated, and practice speaking with others. So our module includes 3 main activities. The first activity is Days of the Week Adventure Spin. Here, the pupils will learn the days of the week through songs and games. Then, the next activity is Daily Routine Grammar Buzz. Here, the pupils will practice using simple grammar to talk about their daily routines. The third activity is Superhero Routine Survey, where pupils will ask and answer questions to improve their speaking and listening skills. So each activity supports pupils in understanding, remembering, and using English more confidently. My team members will later explain these activities in more detail. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day everyone. Now I will continue to present our first activity called Days of the Week Adventure Spin. The purpose of this activity is it aims to comprehensively teach, reinforce, and assess Year 2 Malaysian ESL pupils' understanding of the days of the week through interactive, digital, and hands-on activities relevant to their daily lives. There are 4 main ideas of these activities. First, introduce and recognize days of the week. Second, teach day sequencing and real-world application. Third, engage pupils through interactive and varied activities. And fourth, reinforce learning and assess understanding. Now, let's first review the 4 strategy classifications that underpin this activity. The first strategy is cognitive strategies. These involve mental processes for understanding and producing language. In our activity, the strategies are when the pupils think about ordering the days in the online game, categorizing school days versus weekend days, and apply their understanding by drawing activity. The second strategy is memory strategies, which are techniques to remember and retrieve information. For example, in our activity, this includes consistent use of the Days of the Week song and the use of the digital flashcards. The third strategy is affective strategies. This strategy focuses on emotions, attitudes, and motivations to create a positive learning environment. This involves singing the song with peers and then commenting on their friends' work and when the teacher praises their efforts. The fourth strategy that we incorporate in this activity is metacognitive strategies. These strategies is about self-management of learning, such as monitoring, self-correction, and assess on one's on understanding. In this activity, it involves monitoring attention during the game and also assess the knowledge through quick reviews or evaluation form. Moving on, I will present about the steps to execute this activity and the link of the steps to the language learning strategies. First, The teacher greets the Year 2 pupils warmly at the start of the lesson. This directly aligns with effective strategies because a warm greeting is essential to create a comfortable and motivating learning environment. Secondly, the teacher points to the classroom calendar and clearly identifies today's day. For example, today is Wednesday. The date is 4th of June 2025 to activate pupils' prior knowledge about dates. This is a cognitive strategy because activating prior knowledge helps pupils to make connections and organize new information. Thirdly, the teacher plays the Days of the Week song video from YouTube for 2 times. This step utilizes memory strategies through the consistent use of the song for memorization. It also subtly engages effective strategies by making the introduction engaging and fun. Next, pupils are instructed to listen carefully to the song, sing along, and perform actions following the video. This aligns with the effective strategies as pupils sing the song together with their peers, which promotes fun learning. Next, the teacher projects digital flashcards for each day of the week and clearly pronounce each day. This is a clear utilization of memory strategies in which flashcards are provided with colorful pictures to associate the pupil's daily life context. This visual, contextual link strengthens memory retention by making the days more relatable and meaningful for them. It also subtly engages cognitive strategies by helping the pupils to connect the new vocabulary to their existing real world experiences. After that, pupils are instructed to repeat after the teacher both in groups and individually. To reinforce memory, the teacher conducts a quick review by flashing cards randomly, prompting pupils to call out the day using a memory retrieval practice strategy. Next, the teacher guides the pupils to order the days of the week using an interactive online game from the Word Wall application. This is a core cognitive strategy as pupils actively order the days of the week in the online game, which requires their analytical thought and sequencing. Next, the teacher distributes a worksheet for the pupils to differentiate between school days, which are Monday until Friday, and weekend days, Saturday and Sunday, making relevant connections to their Malaysian context. This is another cognitive strategy in which pupils demonstrate their understanding through classification. Once the pupils are done, the teacher will collect the worksheet for checking. Next, the teacher distributes the favorite day worksheet where pupils will draw a fun activity they do on their favorite day of the week. This step exemplifies cognitive strategies as pupils apply their understanding by drawing an activity for a specific day. It also has effective strategy elements by personalizing the learning and making it fun for the year 2 pupils. Once the pupils are done with their My Favorite Day worksheet, the pupils do gallery walks and comment on their friends' work by giving stickers provided by the teacher. This is a significant effective strategy because it allows them to comment on their peers' work, which foster a supportive and collaborative learning environment. Next, pupils are given an evaluation form to show their understanding of the topic. For example, in the picture provided here, the pupils will have to draw a face that show how they feel about about learning the days of the week. They can draw the emoji for happy, or they can draw emoji for okay, or they can draw emoji for not sure. This will help the teacher to assess their understanding as well. This is a clear metacognitive strategy as the evaluation form enables pupils to assess their own learning. and promote self awareness. After that, the teacher leads the singing of the Days of the Week song and conducts a quick flashcard drill on the days of the week to recall what they have learned during the lesson. This step primarily utilizes memory strategies through the consistent use of the song and flashcards. Finally, the teacher praises all pupils for their learning and effort throughout the lesson. This is a crucial effective strategy which directly boosts the learners or the pupils' confidence and motivation, making them feel valued and encouraged for future learning.
Okay, I will be presenting on the next part, which is variation. So, we have chosen differentiated strategies as our variation for activity 1. Okay, in every classroom, pupils have different levels of understanding. That is why we use differentiated strategies. These strategies help make sure every pupil gets the support or challenge that they need. It also keeps the pupils interested, builds their confidence, and makes learning fair for all. Alright, so for high ability pupils, we give them tasks that challenge them. They can order all 7 days and write full English sentences, for example. On Sunday, I go to the park. They also join a gallery walk to comment on their friends' work. As an extra task, they can write another sentence in the My Favorite Day worksheet. Moving on to the middle ability pupils. Middle ability pupils can focus on recognizing and ordering the 7 days. They can also learn to tell the difference between school days and weekends. We, as teachers, can support them with a word bank and pictures to help them remember the days. Visual aids such as icons of school or the beach makes it easier for them. Alright, next, lower ability pupils. They need more hands-on support. They will match the days to pictures, sing the days of the week song, and circle the correct day with guidance. We give them one-on-one help, use big colorful flashcards, and provide clear step-by-step instructions. This makes learning fun and easier to follow. Lastly, by using different tasks and support, we make sure that every pupil can succeed. Differentiation helps create an inclusive classroom where no one is left behind.
Good day, everyone. Now I will be presenting Activity 2 titled Daily Routine Grammar Bus. This activity is specially designed for Year 2 Malaysian ESL pupils and focuses on helping them to master the present simple tense, particularly in the context of daily routines and days of the week. Let me begin with the purpose of this activity. The aim is to effectively develop and strengthen pupils' grammar skills, especially their ability to talk about daily routines using correct subject verb agreement. This is done through a series of interactive digital and hands on tasks that are directly connected to the pupils' everyday lives. Now, let's look at the main objective of this activity. There are four main objectives. The first one would be pupils will practice using the simple present simple tense to describe what they do on specific days. Second one would be the pupils will apply grammar rules, especially focusing on subject verb agreements such as I wake up and she wakes up. They will also work collaboratively in pairs or small groups, which encourages peer learning and communication. Most importantly, this activity is designed to help them gain confidence in using English through interactive and low pressure speaking tasks. This activity integrates four key language learning strategies: cognitive strategies, social strategies, affective strategies, and metacognitive strategies. Cognitive strategies are applied when pupils practice forming correct sentence structures such as I brush my teeth at 7 o'clock. They also organize their ideas in sequence based on their daily routines. Social strategies come into play when pupils work in pair or groups. They learn from each other, Give reminders like adding s in the third person verbs and take turns speaking, which builds their teamwork and also communication skills. Effective strategies are addressed by creating a safe and enjoyable learning environment through game like and also interactive elements. Pupils are less anxious and also feel more encouraged to speak and participate. Metacognitive strategies are developed as pupils plan what they want to say, monitor their grammar use, and reflect on their own performance, making corrections as needed. This helps them become more aware of their language learning process.
Now, I will share with you regarding the steps of the activity and how can we conduct this activity. First, let's look at the first part of the lesson and how the strategies are applied. The teacher starts with a warm greeting which builds a positive, supportive environment. Then pupils are asked what day is today and the teacher uses this to introduce the sentence structure, which is the subject verb agreement where I plus verb plus on plus day. This helps pupils to connect with grammar to real life context using a cognitive strategy. Pupils share one daily activity aloud, such as I eat rice on Monday. This is a simple sentence with low pressure speaking activity that support both affective and social strategy. Next, people work in pairs using the word wall as shown in the picture. They rearrange the jumbled word to form the correct sentences in pairs. This task reinforces cognitive strategy and encourage peer interaction, which also can be classified as social strategy. You may click here to access the link as well. Then, pupils are divided into groups 3 to 4 and given daily routine picture cards. Each pupil takes turn forming a sentence based on the picture and pass to the next one of their friend once they have completed. This task is highly interactive and promote peer correction where other group members help correct their mistakes, encouraging peer learning using social and metacognitive strategy. The next step involves a worksheet with picture, days, and verb. Pupils use this prompt to construct full present tense sentences. Teacher remind pupils to apply the correct simple present tense and provide support as needed. Here, we can see a strong use of cognitive strategy as people apply what they have learned. Besides, the teacher supports pupils by guiding them to use correct grammar. This scaffolding supports metacognitive development as pupils reflect on and adjust their use of language. Lastly, pupils then complete a self-check card which encourages them to evaluate their own understanding. This is a direct use of metacognitive strategies. As a class, they chant a fun rhyme they created together. This is a group chant which lowers anxiety and builds class spirit using affective and social strategies. Finally, the teacher gives a positive feedback, reinforcing pupils' confidence and motivation, which is a great example of effective strategy in action.
Now, I will be explaining the variation for Activity 2 Daily Routine Grammar Bus, which focuses on the use of differentiated strategies to meet the varied learning needs of Year 2 ESL pupils. Let's begin with a group of high ability pupils. These pupils are able to use full sentences with correct grammar. For example, she goes to school at 7 o'clock. To extend their learning, they are encouraged to add time, expressions, or frequency words like every day or in the morning. They also participate in peer review, where they give feedback to their groupmates' sentences. As an extra challenge, they are asked to create a longer or more detailed sentences, helping them develop high order thinking skills and deeper grammar application. Moving on to the middle ability pupils. These people use sentence frames to help them construct sentences such as I at 7 o'clock. They engage with the word wall unscramble activity, which allows them to practice arranging words into meaningful present simple tense sentences. In addition, They work with peers to check and apply the correct subject verb agreement, such as knowing when to use I eat versus she eats. This guided practice supports them in forming accurate, basic present tense sentences with growing confidence. Next, we have the lower ability pupils. These pupils begin by matching pictures to actions like identifying a picture of brushing teeth. They are supported with visual aids, including flashcards and picture cards, to help connect visuals with vocabulary. They also receive verbal from teachers and peers to build simple sentences. To support their memory and understanding, they engage in repetitive, multisensory tasks such as songs, chants, and hands on group activities. Now, let's look at why do we use differentiated strategies? Differentiation helps all pupils learn at their own level. High ability pupils are given extra challenges to extend their skills, while lower ability pupils receive support like picture aids and sentence frames to help them succeed. This approach makes learning more fun, fair, and inclusive, and it supports all learners in improving their grammar confidently and also effectively. In summary, differentiation in this activity ensures that every pupil, regardless of ability, is given the right tools, support, or challenge to actively participate and grow in their language learning journey.
The third activity designed in this module is called Superhero Among Us. This interactive ESL lesson is designed specially for Year 2 pupils and focuses on reinforcing the use of yes or no questions related to free time activities. The superhero team provides an engaging and imaginative context that helps make the language learning process meaningful and enjoyable. Through this activity, pupils are encouraged to interact, express themselves creatively, and use the target language with purpose. The primary objective of this activity is to support pupils in accurately forming and responding to do you questions using the structures yes I do and no I don't. Rather than relying solely on repetitive drills, this activity fosters authentic communication by having pupils ask classmates about their weekend habits, record responses, and reflect on the data collected. Pupils then transform these fun findings into superhero identities such as Captain Reed or Captain Teamwork, effectively combining language learning with creativity. As a whole, this activity integrates four key categories of language learning strategies, which are cognitive strategies, social strategies, affective strategies, and metacognitive strategies. Firstly, in terms of cognitive strategies, these strategies are employed as pupils practice sentence patterns, categorize responses, and analyze peer behaviors to assign superhero roles, linking language to real life contexts. Secondly, in terms of social strategies, so social strategies are central with pupils engaging in questioning, attentive listening, recording answers, and working collaboratively, while also recognizing each other's strengths. Thirdly, the superhero context enhances effective strategies by increasing emotional engagement, reducing anxiety, and boosting confidence through positive reinforcement and creativity. And lastly, in terms of metacognitive strategies, these strategies involve pupils planning who to question, tracking responses, and reviewing their own language use, fostering learner autonomy. These strategies are embedded seamlessly throughout the lesson to support both language acquisition and independent learning. Next, let's look into the steps to execute Activity 3, the superhero among us. Firstly, the lesson begins with the teacher explaining the goal to pupils, which is to learn how to ask and answer questions about weekend activities using do you and respond with yes I do or no I don't. This helps pupils focus on the language target and prepares them mentally for the activity as a whole. Next, pupils warm up by playing a word wall anagram game where they unscramble words like go cycling or go swimming. This activates their prior knowledge and supports cognitive strategies such as pattern recognition and retrieval. After the warm up, as the fourth step, the teacher models the target language by projecting digital flashcards with examples. Here, pupils are introduced to the ways of answering do you questions with yes I do or no I don't correctly. After receiving adequate knowledge on yes I do and no I don't, pupils then engage in a short quiz called Superhero Mission Box Game. In this game, pupils get into groups of five and each group take turns selecting boxes on the word wall application, each revealing a free time activity question. Pupils will then discuss and answer each question with yes I do or no I don't correctly in groups with guidance. Following the game, pupils now move on to a group activity using an interactive worksheet entitled Superhero Squad Weekend Survey. In this context, each pupil receives a worksheet with five do you questions related to weekend activities, such as do you read books or do you go swimming. Pupils now will walk around their groups, asking their group mates these questions one by one. As they interact, they record their classmates' responses by ticking yes or no in the table provided. Overall, this step strengthens cognitive strategies as pupils are required to collect, compare, and organize information from multiple sources. They begin noticing patterns, for instance, which activities are most common among their peers, which helps them make meaningful connections with the language at this age itself. At the same time, pupils are also using social strategies because they must approach others, ask questions politely, listen attentively, and also respond respectfully, which fosters a collaborative classroom environment where everyone learns from one another. In addition, this activity also engages metacognitive strategies as pupils need to monitor their own progress and ensure that they are asking all five questions, keeping track of their responses, and later reflect on what they have found. So this gives them a more control over their own learning process, promoting independence and responsibility. After completing the interviews, pupils look at their answers that they have gathered in their worksheet. Now they will receive a worksheet number two to select one group mate and assign them a superhero name based on their ability. Here, they will have to choose one friend and think carefully about which activity that the friend does the most. Based on this, they create a fun superhero name that matches their friend's interests. For example, a friend who enjoys reading could become Captain Reed, and for someone who loves dancing, might be a dancing diva. This part of the activity taps into effective strategies as it encourages people to use their imaginations and build emotional connections with the language. It also boosts their confidence and makes learning more enjoyable. Furthermore, it also supports cognitive strategies as pupils must analyze the data, summarize it into a main idea, and choose the appropriate vocabulary to describe their friends' habits. At the same time, the superhero names act as a memory aid, linking new words to familiar people and actions, which helps pupils remember vocabulary more easily. Now, let's look at how this activity is made inclusive through differentiated strategies so that every child, no matter their level, can take part, learn, and feel successful. For high ability pupils, they are given more challenges. They can create their own do you questions, give answers in full sentences, and explain reasonings for why they chose certain superhero names. This promotes independent thinking and uses metacognitive and cognitive strategies like planning, reasoning, and analyzing. For intermediate proficiency students, they receive extra support such as sentence frames, tick boxes, and guided prompts. This helps them construct correct answers while building confidence. This also supports cognitive strategies like organizing language and affective strategies by reducing anxiety and encouraging participation. Nevertheless, for lower ability pupils, we are encouraged to use visual aids like emojis and picture cues. They can respond with simple yes or no answers and get help from teacher or peers when needed. These people rely more on memory strategies like linking words to pictures and social strategies like working with a partner. By adjusting the level of support, the type of task and the expected output still would be achieved, and this activity stays fun and meaningful for all learners while still promoting real communication and active use of English language.
To conclude, this language learning module highlights the importance and effectiveness of using a variety of language learning strategies to support Year 2 ESL pupils in developing their language skills. Throughout the module, we have thoughtfully integrated cognitive, metacognitive, affective, and social strategies to ensure that pupils not only improve their language proficiency but also build their confidence, motivation, and independence as learners. Each of the three activities was carefully designed to promote active participation, encourage collaborative learning, and provide opportunities for real life language use. These elements make the learning experience both meaningful and enjoyable for young learners. In addition, we made sure to use differentiated instruction, include scaffolding, the use of visual aids, and offering creative extensions for more advanced pupils. This ensures that all pupils, regardless of their proficiency level, are given the right amount of support or challenge to help them succeed. Ultimately, this module reflects a learner centered approach where every child is given opportunity to grow in a supportive and engaging environment. That's all from my group. Thank you.